What's up guys, Jeff Cavalier, AthleanX.com. So today I'm going to show you how much muscle you're going to build on your body, because I actually have a crystal ball, but we all do, right? We're going to look together. I'm going to hold mine up, you hold yours up. Right here. Here's your crystal ball. It's your wrist. You see, a lot of people will have you believe that if you just measure your wrist circumference, right around here, that you can determine ultimately how big you're going to be, how much muscle your frame can carry. And I actually think there is a little bit of validity to that, but then we kind of get things like this, like a bunch of formulas that people throw up for you to plug these numbers into that are supposed to just give you concrete, again, tell you exactly where you're going to end up. You can probably guess what I think about these things. I certainly don't think these are very scientific, right? But they say, hey, just take your wrist circumference, add 10 inches, there you go, there's how big your arms are going to be. So if you got a 6 1/4 inch wrist like I do, plus 10, 16.25 inches. Now, in some cases, you might do that math and say, hey, that's pretty accurate. Like guys, I always say, even a blind squirrel can find an acorn from time to time. That doesn't necessarily mean it's right. It just might mean it puts you in the ballpark. But we'll get back to this in a second. They'll even go beyond that and say, we'll tell you again how much weight you're going to have on your body at a 6% ripped body weight, right? Lean mass. Take your height in centimeters, you subtract 100. It's always these random round numbers. Subtract 100, that's your kilogram body weight. Multiply by 2.2 if you want to do pounds. That's how big you can be at this size. If you want to go up in weight, every 2% that you add in body fat is an additional 10 pounds. Guys, okay, just hold on a second. Let's breathe for a second, because the fact of the matter is these things kind of a lot of times tend to discourage people. If I went off of the skinny wrist doom, I would have stopped a whole long time ago, because I only have, again, very thin wrists, about 6.25 inches. And they would have told me back then, you can't really build big arms. Right? That's what they used to say. If your wrists were anything less than 7 inches, forget it. Don't even go to the gym. It's frustrating, and it can be deflating, and that I don't want it to be. So I want to discuss, though, what I think you should focus on. Is there any merit at all to that? What would it mean? Why do we look at the wrist? Well, the good thing about the wrist is there's an objective point here where no matter what the body fat level is between individuals, we're all going to have pretty much just skin and bones in this area. That's one of the values of this area as being the objective point to measure. However, I think there's more than that. It's not just your wrist. I mean, look at the whole skeleton. There's other things we can look at. I've talked about before the merit of looking at clavicular length. Right? Now, if you just had to look at somebody from the outside, because we can't look inside their body, you would look at how broad their shoulders are. Trying not to look at the size of their delts necessarily, but just the broadness of their clavicles, their bones. We know that if a clavicle is this long versus this long, there's going to be a limit to how much muscle you can attach to that bone. Right? We know that the upper pec attaches to the clavicle. If I've got 6 more inches of clavicle, I got 6 more inches of upper pec I could attach there. More muscle equals more weight, more body weight. It all kind of plays together. So there is some basis for this. Your skeletal structure is going to play a part, a large part, in how big you can ultimately be. But it doesn't mean that you can't look good in any skeleton. There's a big difference between that. Though he's not as tall as me, though he's not as broad as me, it doesn't mean that if you didn't put some meat around these bones that he couldn't look good. As a matter of fact, maybe we are the same skeleton. He's just a little shorter, because if you look at this, he actually lines up pretty damn good. But I put some meat around the bones so they look better. You all can look better no matter what skeleton you're in. Forget these formulas, guys. Forget these other things, the length of your gap between your bicep and your elbow. I've gone into this before too. If you have 2 fingers you can fit there, you're doomed. I share a 2-finger gap with somebody else, this guy. I think we made out all right in terms of the arm size department. Don't let these kinds of things get you so wrapped up. What you need to do is you need to learn how to optimize what's on your frame instead of trying to maximize what you think you should be onto your body. Right? If I looked at The Rock, I might look at him and go, man, I wish I was like The Rock. I will never be like The Rock. I will never be that big. He's a lot taller than me. He's a lot bigger than me. I won't look like that. But it doesn't mean that we both can't look good, especially at lean body weights. It doesn't mean that. Right? If Franco Columbu kept looking at Arnold and said, I'm going to keep training until I look like Arnold, he didn't have to. He was much shorter, different skeleton. But it didn't mean that he couldn't look good. We all can look good within the skeleton that we have. So hopefully, guys, don't get too caught up in these numbers. They don't mean that much. What means the most is taking every opportunity you have to hit the gym and train hard, then train smart, and keep progressing day by day, and realize that this is a marathon and not a sprint. And if you do that, guys, it will all start to play out. It will all start to come together, and you're going to be really proud of how you look, and there's not a single person walking around, I don't care, again, what skeleton you walk in, there's not a single person who won't look better if they do that. So guys, I hope you found this video helpful, truthful actually. In the meantime, and I'm going to cover these. I don't want you going and plugging all your numbers in here because I know you're going to rush to do that. Listen to what I said instead. Fact is, guys, if you're looking for programs that will help you to optimize what you have, we have our programs available over at athletenext.com. In the meantime, if you found the video helpful, leave your comments and thumbs up below. Let me know what else you want me to cover. I'll do my best to do that for you. And if you haven't already done so, click subscribe and turn on your notifications so you never miss a video when we put one out. All right, guys, I'll see you soon.